Welcome back my kings and queens, and welcome to this video where I will go ahead and show you how you can create a realistic car in Blender. So let's not waste any more seconds and let's start right into this tutorial. So after setting up the blueprints for all of the views, we can go ahead and start to model the car. For this, go ahead and press Shift and A to open up the Add menu, head over to Mesh and add in a cube to the scene. Press Tab to go into the edit mode of the cube, press A to be sure that everything from the cube is selected, and then press M to open up the merge menu and click on add center. Like this, we have merged the cube at the center and we are left with only one single vertex. From this point right here, we can press numpad 3 to go into the side view, press G to grab the vertex and move it to the beginning of the hood to a point around here. And then we can press numpad 7 to go into the top view and align the vertex just a little bit better onto the blueprint line. And if you should not have these arrows right here on the left side, you probably have this icon right here selected, so just go ahead and select the move icon. And if you should not have the bar on the left, just go ahead and press T to open up the tools bar. And by the way, I'm going quite fast through all of the topology lessons, as this video right here is dedicated to creating a realistic model, and I already have another tutorial for the basics of car modeling. And if you want a complete step-by-step guide on how to create a realistic car from the beginning to the complete end, you can also go ahead and check out the first link in my description. But now with this vertex set to the beginning of the hood, we can press E to extrude the vertex, and then go ahead and extrude the vertex all the way to the end of the hood to the right side, and zoom in into the blueprint and press G to align the vertex just a little bit better. Now this edge right here does not follow with the blueprint line for the hood, so we need to go ahead and add in some loop cuts to this area right here. And you can go ahead and add in some loop cuts by pressing Ctrl and R. Now you can see the yellow dot that appears right here. And if you go ahead and scroll up your mouse wheel, you can go ahead and add in even more loop cuts. So let's go ahead and scroll up our mouse wheel 4 times so that we can go ahead and add in 5 cuts, which you can see at the top right here. Then, once you see the yellow dots, press left click to apply the loop cut. Then take these vertices and with G grab them and align them onto the blueprint line. Once all of these vertices right here are aligned, we can make sure that the distance in between these vertices is the exact same. For this, select the first vertex and then with Ctrl select the last vertex, press right click, head over to loop tools and click on space. If after pressing right click you do not have the options to use loop tools, just go ahead and click on edit at the top, then on preferences at the bottom, head over to get extensions and into the search bar right here, type in loop tools, and then you should be able to click on install right here. Alright, so this line right here looks great from the top view, and now let's go ahead and press numpad 1 to check this out from the front view. And right here you can see that the first vertices do align with the blueprint line, but the vertices to the right do not match up with the blueprint line. So let's go ahead and take the vertices and move them just a little bit down until they again match up with the blueprint line. So this is great from right here. Let's also double check on the side view, but as the top and the front view is already aligning, we shouldn't have any issues on the side view, and we don't have any issues right here. So now all of these vertices right here are placed correctly into the 3D space, and we can continue to model the hood. For this, press numpad 7 to go back into the top view, take this vertex right here, press E and then Y to only extrude it on the Y axis, and go ahead and extrude it all the way to the end of the hood. Zoom right in and take a look on how this is looking, and it's matching up really good with the blueprint line. And then go ahead and repeat the same step at the right side, so select this vertex right here, press E and extrude it all the way to the end of the hood to right here, zoom in and with G align it even better. Then you can take both of these vertices right here and press F to create a connection between the vertices, which will end up in an edge. Now in the next step we need to decide on how many vertices we need to add into this edge right here, and for this we need to go ahead and take a look on how many vertices we have at the top, and if we go ahead and select all of the vertices right here, at the bottom right here you can see that we have selected 5 verts, and if you should not have this information right here, just go ahead and press right click onto this bar and enable scene statistics. So as we have 5 vertices at the top, let's also go ahead and add in 5 vertices to the bottom, and go ahead and again of course align them onto the blueprint line. Then go ahead and once more use the loop tools on all of these vertices right here, and now all of these vertices right here are matching from the top view. So let's go ahead and press numpad 1 to go into the front view and to align these vertices from the front view as well. Then from right here you can already see that this edge right here does not match up with the blueprint line that we have, and if we go ahead and take a look from the top view, this edge doesn't match up from the top view as well. so we need to go ahead and add in some loop cuts so that we can go ahead and move the single vertices onto the blueprint line. For this, let's go ahead and once more with Ctrl and R create a loop cut. Scroll up your mouse wheel until you think that you have enough vertices, and I think that the amount of 8 should be enough for the space right here. And once you have added in the vertices, go ahead and align them onto the blueprint line. So now the vertices are aligned from the top view, and of course if we go ahead and take a look from the front or from the side view, these vertices do not match up with the blueprint line, and for these vertices I would go ahead and recommend to align them from the side view. Alright, so far so good. The only thing that we need to go ahead and make sure is that we have the same amount of vertices on the left edge as we also have added in on the right edge. And as we have added in 8 vertices to the right, let's also go ahead and add in 8 vertices to the left and go ahead and align them from the side view. Alright, now if you also go ahead and take a look from the front view, you can see that the vertices do also match up from the front view, and as we do not have any more blueprint lines inside of the outline that we have created, we can now go ahead and fill in all of these faces. And the reason for us to create the same amount of vertices at the top and at the bottom and on the left and on the right is that we now can go ahead and fill in this area with quads only, and as we are modeling a realistic car, we will go ahead and add in a subdivision surface modifier later on, and the subdivision surface modifier works best with quads only in the topology. Now to fill this in as quick as possible, press A to select all. At the top, head over to face and click on grid fill. Now in my case, the grid fill option has already set the span to 6 and the offset to 0, and like this we have only quads, and the grid fill tool has worked perfectly. If this hasn't worked for you, you might need to go ahead and adjust the numbers at the bottom left in the menu. And if the menu is closed on your side, just go ahead and click on the arrow to open up the menu. Alright. So one half of the hood is already modeled, and we of course will not go ahead and also model the left side, but for this we can easily go ahead and add in a mirror modifier. To do this, at the right side go ahead and click on the blue wrench to open up the modifiers menu, then click on add modifier, head over to generate and click on mirror to add in a mirror modifier. And you can see that the mirror modifier has worked perfectly well, as the axis was already set to X. If the mirror modifier should look something like this on your side, you can go ahead and easily fix this by selecting the right axis. So in this case it will be the Y axis, so go ahead and disable the Y axis and enable the X axis. One more thing that you need to go ahead and change inside of the mirror modifier is the clipping option, so go ahead and check the box for the clipping option. Like this, you're not able to take a vertex from the middle line and press G and move it to the right side, as the vertex will always stick to the middle, and like this you won't run into any issues with overlapping vertices. Now if we take a look from the object mode, you can see that the hood still consists out of single quads and is not smoothed out, and to change this, go ahead and inside of the object mode, select the hood, head over to object and click on shade smooth. If you now go ahead and take a look from the object mode, you can see that you're not able to see any quads anymore and that the hood is smoothed out. Now the only issue that you can go ahead and see is that on the outline of the hood you can still see some corners, like for example on this area right here. And if you go ahead and take a look from the edit mode, you can see that we have 2 quads on this area right here. And to smooth out these areas right here, you need to go ahead and add in a subdivision surface modifier. To do this, go ahead and click on add modifier, head over to generate and go ahead and click on subdivision surface. Like this you can see that the corners has mostly disappeared, but if you go ahead and take a detailed look, you can still see some corners right here. As with the subdivision surface modifier, at the level of 1, one face gets separated into 4 faces, and therefore this one corner now was transformed into 4 single corners. And you can go ahead and solve this by bumping up the value from 1 to, for example, 2. And if you now go ahead and take a look, you can't really tell that you have some corners right here. But the issue with the subdivision surface modifier is that you have lost the real corners that we had. If you go into the edit mode, you can see that you have a vertex right here, and we actually do need this corner right here, as this is the shape of the hood. But with the subdivision surface modifier, you just have a rounding right here. To fix this, go ahead and go back into the edit mode, select the vertex to which you want to add in a corner, press right click, click on vertex crease and type in 1 and press enter. Like this, the hood is still shaded smooth, you do not have any corners on this area right here, but you have to bring back the corner that you need for the shape of the hood. Now we also have the issue at the top right here, as you can see that we have a vertex all the way down here, and if we take a look on the blueprint lines, we definitely need this corner right here, and with the subdivision surface modifier we don't have this corner, but by selecting this vertex, pressing right click, clicking on vertex crease, typing in 1 and pressing enter, we can easily go ahead and bring back this corner. Alright, so far so good. Now the only thing that you need to go ahead and add in to make this really realistic is some thickness, as snow hood in real life is as thin as paper. So let's go ahead and add in one last modifier. So go ahead and click on add modifier, head over to generate and click on solidify. Now if you go ahead and take a look on the corner of the model, you can see that first the shading looks a little bit weird, and secondly you can see that you have added in some thickness. Now the back faces are also filled in, and you can go ahead and disable them by checking the box on the rim inside of the solidify modifier. And now the solidify modifier only works on a rim, and like this you can go ahead and save up some performance. And now to fix the shading issues on the outline of the hood, let's go ahead and select the hood and press tab to go back into the edit mode, press 2 to go into the edge selecting mode, or you can also select the edge selecting mode at the top. Then with shift and alt, go ahead and click on all of the outline edges to select the complete outline of the hood. Press right click and click on mark sharp. Like this we have marked sharp of the outline edges, and if you take a look by rotating your view, you can see that you do not have any shading issues anymore. Now if you go ahead and continue with this method, you should end up with something like this for the complete hood. As if you take a look on the blueprint and some reference images, you can see that we have completely traced down the entire hood. But if you take a closer look on the hood, you can see that something looks off, because you do not have any sharp edges inside of the model. As you can for example see a sharp edge right here on this reference image, or the sharp edge right here. This edge right here is represented by this edge right here, which we can also find on the blueprint line. And if we would go ahead and select all of these edges right here and press right click and click on mark sharp, you can see that we now do have a sharp edge, but it still looks very bad. So let's go ahead and undo this with Ctrl and Z, and I will go ahead and show you an even better method. The better way to bring back the sharp edges that you need is to adding supporting edge loops. A supporting edge loop is basically a loop cut, which you need to go ahead and align to this edge right here, and you will go ahead and do this by pressing Ctrl and R left to the edge of which you want to bring back, then press left click, and as we have added in some edges with the loop cut, we can now go ahead and slide the loop cut, and we want to go ahead and slide the loop cut to the right side. So go ahead and press E to first enable the align option, and with the red vertex on the left side right here, you can see that this edge right here is now orientated to the left side. So go ahead and press F to flip the direction, and now we can go ahead and orientate it to the right side and move the loop cut all the way to a point around here, so very close to the edge which needs to be sharp. Then also go ahead and do the same step from the right side, so add in a loop cut and with E align it to the left side like this. And if now we go ahead and take a look from the object mode, you can see that we have a sharp edge right here, and that this edge with the supporting edge loops looks way better than the edge that we have bring back with the mark sharp option. Now if we go ahead and continue to create the sharp edges that you need with some supporting edge loops, you'll go ahead and end up with something like this. You can see that the topology is very clean and you have quotes only, and actually this is already it for the basic method on how to model a realistic car in Blender. Now if you're interested in the complete process of how to model a realistic car in Blender, you can go ahead and check out my full step-by-step course with the first link in my description. Right there we have started by setting up the blueprints and have continued to finish off this car by modeling every single detail in a step-by-step episode. So if you want to learn how to create a realistic car in Blender, this would be the best option. And as I really appreciate the support on my channel and on my Discord server, with this code on my screen right here, the first 10 people to use it can go ahead and get the course completely for free. And now my kings and queens, I wish you all of the best for the future, have fun modeling cars, and we will see us in the next video.